Hi Stanley, I hope you're doing good, and I'm going to do a quick video here. This is something that sparked my curiosity. This is a Spotify playlist analyzer. So what it does is it brings back information about the audio features of a playlist. Now I've seen these kind of things for individual tracks before, but this is for a complete playlist. Now there is a fantastic playlist here which has been put together by Michael Pieterse, and this is a focus on garage house music. You can see that this is popular. It's got 6,105 likes, a total of 391 songs with a duration of 38 hours. That's a lot of incredible music, but Michael really knows his stuff. He's picked a really great selection here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copy. So we're going to take a copy of the link to the playlist. We're going to go back into this website. And by the way, if you want to do this for yourselves, it's www.chosic.com, and that's Spotify Playlist Analyzer. I'll provide the link in the actual video description. Let's put this in. Let's paste it. Let's go to Analyze and let's take a look. Now, we have some high-level information here. Kind of annoying with all these ads. I don't have an ad blocker. I'm going to have to live with this, I think. Let me just remove that for the moment. But of course, the person who put this together has put some effort into it. And so, they deserve some form of a reward. And in fact, you can donate at the top here. Now, this is breaking down some high-level figures. So we can see here that the top rating is a 4.4. Let's just take a look at the information here. And what is it doing? So it's gathering together, I think, all of these different ratings and providing a summary of those. But let's come back up to the top. The top genre is dance and electronic. That would be understandable because it's all garage house. The top subgenre where it does exist is UK garage. And look at the most repeated artist. Now, this is incredible. So this is me. So I've got to thank Michael for putting me on there so many times. Another interesting factor for me is that the most repeated decade is in 2020. And this is interesting because if you look at some of the tracks on the playlist, some of these are old classics. I mean, really old classics from the 90s. The most repeated key, the most common key, musical key, is a key of B. There's some information about the actual, the recentness, I guess, of the playlist. So that was updated 17 days ago. And then average length, 551. Average tempo, 125 BPM. Very, very interesting high-level figures. Let's come down to take a look at some of the audio features that Spotify use some of their internal tools to decide on. And you've got here average popularity, 7 out of 100. Now, this is very interesting for me. If you consider the complete Spotify data set, you could see how we'd be looking at a low popularity score because garage house, or garage house, depending on how you say it, is a style of music that is popular, I would suggest, with a minority compared to the complete set. So it's quite a niche genre. Happiness. Now, I don't know how they're measuring this, but this would suggest that the kind of mood of some of these is quite optimistic, I would have thought. Danceability, I guess that's derived from the actual rhythmic aspects. And so, yes, you would expect that to be high. Energy also, I guess that's probably related to the dynamic range and the kind of the volume as such. It could be that it's measuring the dynamic range, the difference between the quiet and the loud. So I'm not sure 100% on that. We need to take a look at that, and you can do your own research there. Acousticness, low, that makes sense. If we were listening to a playlist of acoustic singer-songwriter guitar pieces or very simplistic kind of jazz pieces, we'd probably expect that to be a higher scorer. Here's another interesting one for me. Now, we're talking about a genre of music where it seems just over 50% are instrumentals. And we know this style. We know there's quite a lot of tracks where there are no vocals. If there are vocals, they're going to be triggered short snippets here and there. Liveness. Now, I'm guessing that relates to whether this is programmed versus a live band. And you can see that a lot of this is programmed. But this is, take everything with a pinch of salt. This is based on an algorithm that's basically trying to understand the music from an AI kind of technical perspective. speechiness. Now, this is interesting. This is designed to pick up vocals. So I do know a little bit about this one. So it picks up vocals, and you can see here that it seems to be implying that there are not that many vocals, which almost contradicts this whole kind of instrumentalness aspect, but perhaps that relates to spoken word. So if we were to look at the tracks in the playlist and look for those that were spoken word, we'd probably find those in the minority. What else have we got here? There's some data on the actual parent genres. So majority dance electronic. What's important to understand about genres is this information is always provided by the record label, and a record label doesn't always provide the genre. So this doesn't mean that every single track on that playlist will have data for genre. Okay, bear that in mind. We got some rankings here. So top artists based on the number of tracks in the playlist. So funnily enough, I'm at the top here, which is incredible. You've then got Mark Cottrell, Brock Edwards, DeMarcus Lewis, Chico Flash, Michael Pieterse himself, Micronoise. Look, if you know this scene, you know that these are decent names. And so it's great to see this. Let's expand the list. Let's go down. So, these are names that we all know and love. Okay, so congratulations to everybody on the list. But also note, we've got these kind of historic classics, people like Kerry Chandler. Who else do we have? Some of these kind of older artists. I'm not really picking up any at the moment, but you will find them in that list. And that whole kind of ranking here in terms of who is on that list is a contemporary look. So reflecting back on the decade mentioned here, 20s, that makes perfect sense. So in terms of the subgenres, this is only where that data has been put in by the record labels. Okay, so look, you can see here UK Garage, Soulful House, Funky House, Deep House. These all make sense. I've never heard of Canadian House, so it'd be great for somebody to enlighten me on that. Is there anything else we can take a look at? Let's go past that expanded list and see what we have. Look, there's a lot of names on there. Okay, so look, here's the ranking across the decades. Once again, very interesting. So this is a style of music where the origins were based in the 90s. So there are 17 tracks from the 90s here. The majority are from the 20s. There were some from the 2010s here, and a tiny amount from the 2000s. Very, very interesting analysis here. And then here we have some rankings across the artist rankings, genres, popularity, and length. Here is the main table. Now, if you are the person who likes to get hold of data and play around with it, you can export this to CSV. So you can do some extra detail there. But take a look, we will find here, let's take a look at the top item on the list. So we've got here, we can expand and we can see a lot more information. So on each track, this is granular understanding of the actual audio features. So it's very, very interesting. What a great site. So yeah, I would experiment with some other playlists, put them through, take a look, see how you're feeling about that. But, I'm associated with the Garage House scene, and that's why I wanted to focus on this playlist. Go and take a look. It's good fun.